Hello, everyone. This is Lisa from Power Wheelchairs for Success, and today we're going to kind of piggyback on the back to school video that I had done. But this is for if you are interviewing with a school, whether it's online or especially if it's in person. But if you're doing it online, here are a few important questions you want to consider if you're looking at this school, because they might be looking at you, but you are also looking at them. So you have to be assessing what they are offering and providing for you. But here are some questions that you need to put up front so they understand. So if you are going in person, the first thing you need to really do is say, hey, I'm in a wheelchair. What doors are accessible? How do I get in? So uh, so that is kind of like priority so that you know and you don't waste time going around and around and around the building trying to get in. So, so one of the things that you need to, in this interview, when you're talking about courses and programs and all the things that the school offers, you also need to put up front, your questions and priorities. So access points are really crucial in that interview. You need to ask about, ramps, elevators, and the automated doors. Do they exist to start with? And when I say ramps, I don't mean cardboard. I don't mean, a piece of wood crossing threshold. I mean really real ramps, that are really ramps, that are not going to put you in danger if you try to cross what they think is a ramp. Accessible bathrooms, all that kind of stuff, accessible library, any of those kind of things. So ramps, true ramps, elevators, and automated doors. Weather emergencies, what do those look like? And what if there were a weather emergency or inclemented weather, if you decided that, it's too precarious for you to come due to your condition, and especially because you're in a wheelchair. So that would be important to ask. Weather situations in which, things would be too precarious for you to go. And if you were in the building and you had some inclemented weather, what are the safety spots where you need to park yourself? What is online versus in person? There's a lot of courses these days that are online, and some classes you just have to do in person. So which is which, how many, and, those kind of things. So what you're committing to. Class setup. This is important. When I went back to school, I was losing my hearing. I was at the point where I was becoming deaf. So they did set up some. First, I used headphones, and the teacher had to use a little microphone, a little lapel, and then we had the class in a semicircle so I could see everyone. When I lost even more hearing, then we did captioning on a laptop. There was somebody somewhere in the U.S. who was typing to me what was being said in the class. We had a big microphone that was like huge. So we would have the class in a semicircle, and the microphone was like in the middle of the class so that the person who was captioning to me could hear everything that was going on, and I could follow along. So, it's those kind of things that you want to look at. If you're going into a classroom, if it's possible that they arrange a seating or a spot where you can just drive in and station yourself, that you don't have to fight through chairs and all that kind of stuff. So just easy right in and park yourself. And it could be a semicircle, that works too. But whatever's easiest. And check and see if you need somebody to write for you. Do you need a writer? Do you need captioning? Do you have other disabilities that are important to pay attention to? Do you have any visual issues? Auditory, which is really important. because you need to listen or hear the class. So, and also ask for a brochure or information for the office for students with disabilities for the college or university. Most colleges, well, I think all colleges and universities have to have an office for students with disabilities. So they would be your support and your guide if you ran into any issues or you have a question later on or you have a request, that's the office where you need to go through. So I would have to say that the university where I went, the office was very attentive and they arranged things as my hearing declined. So they were on top of it. They never ignored me. They set up things right away and not an issue. So that's what I have here. So access points, ask them where those are located, weather emergencies, how to handle those, what is online versus in person, and class setup. How will that seating situation look like? Because you don't want to go into a theater situation and then all of a sudden there's no spot for you. So, and to let teachers know, how does all that work? So especially if this is your first interview, your first time going back as a wheelchair user, you want to ask any and all questions. But those questions are important, so you're sure that that what you need is available, and also transportation. You might have your own transportation, but in case something goes awry and you need to take a bus or whatever, that you know how and where. All right, Lisa out.